切ります。to cut 送ります。to send あげます。to give もらいます。to receive 貸します。to lend 借ります。to borrow 教えます。to teach 習います。to learn 電話をかけます。to make a phone call 手 hand 箸 chopsticks spoon spoon フォーク fork ナイフ knife. If it's a table knife like this one, it's called ナイフ. But kitchen knives like this one are usually called 包丁. ハサミ scissors パソコン personal computer ノートパソコン laptop 携帯電話 cell phone. It's commonly shortened to just 携帯スマートフォン smartphone. It's commonly shortened to just スマホメール email ホッチキス stapler セロテープ scotch tape 消しゴム eraser 紙 paper 花 flower シャツ shirt T シャツ T-shirt ズボン pants パンツ is also commonly used. パンツ can also mean underwear. However, the pitch accent is usually different. パンツ is underwear. パンツ is pants. パンツ and パンツ. Do you hear the difference? パンツ and パンツ. プレゼント present or gift. 荷物 luggage. お金 money. ticket. Chiketto is also commonly used. For example, if it's a train ticket, 切符 is commonly used. But if it's an airplane ticket, チケット is definitely more commonly used. チケット usually sounds natural in more context than 切符 does. クリスマス Christmas お父さん Father or dad. 父 also means father. But chichi is only used to refer to one's own father. You can do that with otosan too, but in a formal setting, using chichi to refer to your own father is preferred. お母さん Mother or mom. 母 means mother too. However, haha is used to refer to one's own mother, usually in a formal setting. Basically, it's the mom version of chichi. もう already. まだ yet. これから from now on or after this. 失礼します Excuse me. It literally means I do rudeness to you. It's commonly used before we enter or leave a room, or when we have to interrupt someone. Noun はいかがですか? It's a formal way of saying, how do you feel about noun? And it's also used to offer something. For example, コーヒーはいかがですか? Would you like to have some coffee? いただきます Thank you for the meal just served. This phrase is used before starting a meal to show a sense of gratitude and respect for the food being received. ごちそうさまでした Thank you for the meal. It's used after finishing a meal to show a sense of gratitude and respect for the food. Dead particle. As I explained in lesson 5 and 6, dead particle is used to mark the means and the location. But today, we're going to see more usages of the dead particle as a means marker. So because the dead particle is used to mark the means or method, by or using would be the English equivalent. I'll take a picture. 写真を撮ります I'll just say I'll take a picture with my smartphone, or I'll take a picture using my smartphone. 写真をスマホで撮ります。写真をスマホで撮ります。I occasionally eat sushi with my hand. たまにお寿司を手で食べます。たまにお寿司を手で食べます。Apple is リンゴ in Japanese. How'd you say this in Japanese? Because languages are a tool or method of communication, so it's also marked with the dead particle. Apple は日本語でリンゴです。Apple は日本語でリンゴです。Using the question word, none, how would you say, what is apple in Japanese? Like I always say, all you have to do is replace the information you want to know with the correct question word. Apple は日本語で何ですか? Apple は日本語で何ですか? How'd you ask, what is ハサミ in English? ハサミは英語で何ですか? ハサミは英語で何ですか？ It's scissors. ハサミは英語で scissors です。But usually we don't repeat the same information. So more naturally, just scissors です。In what language do you speak with your parents? To speak is 話します。Parents is 両親。So 両親と何語で話しますか？両親と何語で話しますか？ I speak with them in Spanish. スペイン語で話します。I watched the movie on Netflix. Netflix is the method to watch the movie. So, Netflix で映画を見ました。Netflix で映画を見ました。And if you want to ask, in what method did you watch the movie? That would be なんで映画を見ましたか？なんで映画を見ましたか？ As we learned in lesson 6, when the letter de follows, the pronunciation of what should be なん instead of 何. However, because なんで happens to also mean why. So to avoid this confusion, we often change it to 何. 何で映画を見ましたか？何で映画を見ましたか？ What is Christmas in Japanese? クリスマスは日本語で何ですか？クリスマスは日本語で何ですか？ It's Christmas in Japanese too. Let's review how to use the mo particle. It's okay to use mo and de particles together, so 日本語でもクリスマスです。日本語でもクリスマスです。Ni particle. So we have already learned the ni particle as a time marker. For example, 午前0時に寝ます。I sleep at midnight. And also as a destination marker. For example, 日本に行きます。I go to Japan. And today we're going to see more usages of this ni particle. I give X to him. I give something to him. To give in Japanese is あげます。So, 彼に X をあげます。彼に X をあげます。So, the X was given to him, 彼. So for X, 彼 is the destination. That's why 彼 is marked with the ni particle. Makes sense, right? So this is just one usage of the particle as a destination marker. There's nothing new about this. So person plus ni can mean to the person. I lend X to him. The X was lent to 彼. So 彼に X を貸します。彼に X を貸します。I teach X to him. The knowledge X was given to 彼, so 彼に X を教えます。彼に X を教えます。Alright, now it's gonna get tricky. Ready? Person plus ni can also mean from the person. So for example, I receive X from him. To receive is もらいます。So, 彼に X をもらいます。彼に X をもらいます。This time the X was given from 彼 to you. So 彼 is definitely not the destination for X. So it doesn't make sense that 彼 is still marked with the destination marker, right? I will try to explain why it's this way later. But the good news is you can also use the から particle, which basically means from. So you can also say 彼から X をもらいます。彼から X をもらいます。So how'd you say I borrow X from him? To borrow is 借ります。So 彼に X を借ります。Or 彼から X を借ります。彼から X を借ります。I learn X from him. 彼に X を習います。or 彼から X を習います。彼から X を習います。Now I will try to explain why the ni particle is used for the seemingly two opposite meanings, to and from. First, let me talk a little bit about passive voice. I watch him in Japanese is to watch is 見ます. So 彼を見ます. And I am watched by him. We're going to learn how to make the passive form of verbs in lesson 37, but the passive form of 見ます is 見られます, to be watched. And here's the thing. In a passive voice sentence, the person who did the action is marked with the ni particle. So, 彼に見られます. So another function of the ni particle is that it's a passive agent marker, meaning it marks the doer of the action in a passive voice sentence. So, に equals by. 彼に X をあげます。I give X to him. 彼に X をもらいます。I receive X from him. Now you might be wondering, why the ni is used here, even though もらいます is not the passive form. Yes, もらいます is not in the passive form. However, もらいます has a passive meaning. Meaning-wise, you could say it's the passive counterpart of あげます to give. So when you think of もらいます as the passive form of あげます, it kind of makes sense that 彼 is marked with the ni particle, because 彼 is the passive agent who did the action of giving the X to you. This applies to other verbs that have passive meaning. 貸します lend. 借ります borrow. 彼に X を貸します。I lend X to him. 彼に X を借ります。I borrow X from him. 教えます teach. 習います learn. 彼に X を教えます。I teach X to him. 彼に X を習います。I learn X from him. Alright, let's practice more. How'd you ask, who did you give the flowers to? 誰に花をあげましたか？誰に花をあげましたか？ I gave them to my mother. 母にあげました。母にあげました。If you're talking casually, like with your friends, it's absolutely okay to say お母さん too. お母さんにあげました。What did you receive from your father? お父さんに何をもらいましたか？お父さんに何をもらいましたか？ Here you cannot use 父。父 is only used to refer to one's own father. I received a computer. パソコンをもらいました。パソコンをもらいました。Who did you lend money to? 誰にお金を貸しましたか？誰にお金を貸しましたか？ I lend money to my friend. 友達に貸しました。友達に貸しました。Who did you learn Japanese from? 誰に日本語を習いましたか？誰に日本語を習いましたか？ I learned from たかしさん。たかしさんに習いました。たかしさんに習いました。Let's learn two adverbs, もう already and まだ yet. I already ate dinner. もう晩ご飯を食べました。もう晩ご飯を食べました。 And because it's an adverb, it's used without a particle. And also, you can swap places with other words, as long as the verb comes at the end. Did you already meet Takashi-san? もう高橋さんに会いましたか？もう高橋さんに会いましたか？ And I believe in English, you can also say, Did you meet Takashi-san yet? But in Japanese, まだ高橋さんに会いましたか sounds very unnatural. So you should stick with もう高橋さんに会いましたか And if you want to say, I haven't met him yet, that would be まだ会っていません。haven't met in Japanese is 会っていません。It's an advanced expression, which we will learn in lesson 31. But there's a lot easier way, and that is まだです which means not yet. まだです。Did you already buy a present for your mom? もうお母さんにプレゼントを買いましたか？もうお母さんにプレゼントを買いましたか？ Yes, I already did. はい、もう買いました。はい、もう買いました。No, not yet. いいえ、まだです。いいえ、まだです。So we have learned quite a few particles. But when you hear Japanese people actually speak, you'll notice that we often omit particles. この家は素敵ですね。この家素敵ですね。どこに行きましたか？どこ行きましたか？東京へ行きませんか？東京行きませんか？何を食べましたか？何食べましたか？ All of these sentences sound perfectly natural, especially in conversation. However, omitting a particle is a tricky business, because sometimes omitting a particle can make the sentence sound very unnatural, and sometimes even ununderstandable. For example, to particle and de particle. We never omit them. Omitting them make the sentences ununderstandable. Particles that are often omitted in conversations are wa, ni, when it's used as a destination marker, e, o, and ga particle, which we will learn in lesson 9. You can omit these particles, but even for these particles, it's not like you can always omit them. I wish there was a clear rule in this, when you can omit and when you can't. But there isn't. So all I can tell you now is pay attention to how Japanese people actually speak and try to pick up on when we omit particles. But for now, try not to omit particles too much, because we are still in the process of learning particles. もしもし。もしもし。たかしさんもう晩ご飯を食べましたか？まだです。じゃあ一緒に食べませんか？いいですね。何を食べましょうか？うちで焼肉を食べませんか？いいですね。じゃあ一緒にお肉を買いに行きましょうか？実は今日お肉をたくさんもらいました。誰からですか？お母さんからです。じゃあ今夜は焼肉パーティーですね。じゃあ焼肉を食べて、それから映画を一緒に見ませんか？いいですね。何の映画を見ましょうか？昨日友達に千と千尋の神隠しの DVD を借りました。それを一緒に見ませんか？千と千尋の神隠し？はい、ジブリの映画ですよ。わかりません。 そのタイトルは英語で何ですか？英語で Spirited Away だったと思います。Spirited Away ですか。その映画が大好きです。はい、一緒に見ましょう。何時にうちに来ますか？じゃあ、これから行きます。わかりました。じゃあ、また後で。はーい、また後で。Alright, that's all for today. 今日も本当にお疲れ様でした。いつも見てくれてありがとうございます。